Is there a risk that the UN will recognize these elections as credible? And Jean Mouton, who is the current Myanmar ambassador to the UN, who has famously put up the opposition sign when just post-coup, when everyone thought he was going to kind of go along with the Myanmar military and instead became part of the opposition. Is there a fear that if these elections go through, that the UN will now recognize somebody that is part of the SAC, that is part of the current the Myanmar military?
The UN is its member states, so it's not really relevant to describe it as the UN in this instance. Ambassador Chomotun is recognised because there is an accreditation committee of the General Assembly, which is made up not of UN officials but of representatives of member states. And each year since 2021, their consensus has been that the status quo before the formation of the Junta would continue. Now, China has been prepared to accept that status quo. It's a member of the committee. China has been prepared to accept that status quo till now. It may be that China's position will change after the election, as we've been discussing. The United States, God knows where they're going. The president doesn't. So come October, they could be anywhere. The United States has supported Ambassador Chomotun to date. So if we see the US playing dead, if we see China deciding that the time is right to recognise the result of the puppet show, well then we could see the General Assembly changing its opinion. Now when we deal with the officials though, in the UN level, they have no illusions. The High Commissioner for Human Rights has been very strong in the statements that he has made about how he regards the military's proposal for this election. So I think we will see a continuation of a very critical attitude coming from the officials, but what the states decide, China and the United States and I forget the number, 13, 15 members of this committee, that's going to determine who gets recognised inside the General Assembly, and then that will flow over to other political bodies like the Human Rights Council and the Economic Social Council. Once the General Assembly decides, all of those member-based bodies, state-based bodies, will follow the line of the General Assembly. So it's not clear what will happen, but again, it's going to be a difficult issue, and China and the US will play very important roles in it.
Yeah, as they do.
As they do.
Yeah. Do you want? No, we're fine.
Thank you for that. A little bit depressing, but maybe not. We just don't know. But it is definitely something to look out for, because you are right, Chris. At the level of the OHCHR, of the Human Rights Commission, there is the very clear understanding that this would just be a puppet show, and yet this is not just symbolic. Just having sort of if the new representative ends up being from the SAC, it can have the follow-on consequences that you mentioned.